Not until the woman found her mother's fingernail inside the old box did the fake mother finally admit it in terror. After they had killed the woman's mother, they had hidden her body inside this very box. It turned out that not long ago, when the woman's best friend was about to kill her in the delivery room, the woman suddenly struggled violently and knocked over the anesthetic. Seeing this, the best friend immediately flew into a rage and tried to hit her. However, the woman stated that she had already transferred her shares into the child's name. If she killed the woman and the child, they would get nothing. Helpless, the best friend had no choice but to go get some more anesthetic. Taking the opportunity, the woman used a multifunctional saw blade she had hidden on her body to cut the ropes. She tried to escape through the ventilation duct. However, at that moment, her husband, who was guarding outside the operating room, realized something was wrong. He immediately rushed into the operating room with his men, only to find that the woman was gone. Enraged by this, the husband flew into a violent fury. He immediately shouted at the best friend, saying that if the woman really escaped, no one would be allowed to live. At that moment, the husband accidentally discovered there was blood at the ventilation duct. He instantly realized that the woman had hidden inside the ventilation duct, so he immediately ordered his men to seal off the hospital and search the ventilation ducts. Little did they know, the woman hadn't had time to climb into the ventilation duct. Instead, she had hidden inside the surgical cabinet. The husband had been too anxious to notice her. After watching them leave, the woman found an opportunity to sneak past the search parties and fled the hospital in a hurry. But she didn't expect that when she was hailing a taxi at the entrance, she was still spotted and stopped by her husband's subordinates. Soon, the husband arrived with his men. The woman had to shout loudly to the crowd for help, but the husband claimed that she was suffering from prenatal depression and tried to publicly force her back into the hospital to give birth. Fortunately, at the critical moment, her adoptive brother finally arrived with his men and directly had the husband and the others restrained. At that moment, the woman finally couldn't hold back her tears and burst into loud sobs. Later, she went to the police station to file a report with her adoptive brother. The police immediately arrested the husband for interrogation, but the husband insisted that the woman was suffering from persecution delusion due to her pregnancy. He even tried to get the woman's mother to testify. However, the woman knew very well that the so-called mother was also a fake, but just like the husband, the fake mother was very cunning. She flatly refused to admit that she was an imposter. At that moment, the woman remembered that her dog always used to bark at a box in the storage room, so she immediately opened that box to search it, only to find a bloodstained fingernail inside. Using this as a breakthrough, the police began their interrogation. The fake mother finally broke down and admitted the truth. She was actually the mother of the woman's best friend. The real mother had long been killed by the woman's husband and buried in the yard of the mother's house. Although the woman had already realized that her mother had met with misfortune, she was still overcome with grief upon learning the truth. Fortunately, the woman had survived and had personally found the evidence of their crime against her mother. In the end, the husband and the other three finally received the punishment they deserved.